Hi, this is Scrapbooking, and today I'm going to show you, it's a Cricut collection from the Happiness Lives Here, Close to My Heart collection that's in our current catalog. And so to find this collection, to find out how to buy the Cricut collection, you need to scroll all the way to the bottom of my dorothy.closetomyheart.com website. And at the very bottom, there's a Cricut logo, and you click on it, and you can find the Cricut collection there. So once again, it's Happiness Lives Here. So I am using the color palette from the Happiness Lives Here papers. But this two-page layout is part of the collection. And so they don't necessarily always have a two-page layout in the Cricut collections, but when they do, I do them. And because you're usually really, really gorgeous and lots of detail. And clearly this one is one of those. And so this is 100% Cricut, period. But the amazing things are these backgrounds. Look at the white backgrounds that are part of the cutting guide from Cricut. I mean, it's stunning. It's absolutely stunning. And then all of these flowers are multi-layer. I mean, sometimes even 4 layers. And the leaves are 2 layers. And there is not I went by the picture that was on the Cricut layout. So you can see the leaf is 2 layers with the different colors. Just so you know, the color collection is smoothie, peach, canary, this beautiful bluebell, which is our color of the year. And look at the detail on that photo mat background. So that is going to go against white, so it really shows up. And look at this. So that kind of looks like a blob. And then you put this on it, and it cuts out that thin, beautiful, I mean, is that not gorgeous? And then if you want to, you can use that thin cutout that just says beautiful for another layout. So I am just going to show you how. Look at that. That's just amazing. And so here is the blue showing through the that white background. Now, I didn't really have to flip it over. Is that crazy? Wait, do the rest of you flip over your white stuff to stick them on the back of it? Oh, well, what can you say? I mean, sometimes it kind of looks like there's an upside and a downside, but, you know, in reality, it doesn't really matter. So I am going to stick that down with Tombow. It's not exactly easy because all the lines are so thin. And there's kind of a curve to the paper, I think because of all the cuts. I'm not sure why that is, but there's kind of dips and valleys in the paper. Once again, I think it's because of the cutting. And so it's a little bit hard to lay out too because it's kind of floppy, but that's okay. So I kind of get it in place, and there's about 1/4 of an inch all the way around. And there's some little odd pieces that I didn't poke out. But anyway, so see how there's like a little curve where it doesn't stay down. So I'm just adding a little touch of Tombow underneath there. But you know, this is going to be covered and held down with all these flowers and leaves in the big circle. So I'm going to go ahead and put all of these leaves and flowers together. Sorry about knocking the camera around here. And because it's, you know, everything is a little thin, I'm using the liquid glue to kind of keep it give a really strong adherence to the background of the lighter leaf. So look at how nicely that pops out. Now I'll tell you that the dark green is New England ivy, and it is not part of the typical Happiness Lives Here paper palette, but they were kind of, I guess, going for some contrast of the green. So I went ahead and used New England ivy. Now I'll tell you once again, you can use whatever colors you want to use. I just did it because I really like the Happiness Lives Here collection. I mean, the color palette. But this is totally up to you to decide which colors to use. So, you know, have at it. In our catalogs, on the first page of each of our new collections, we have the color palette swatches. And so you can get some ideas of colors to put together by just looking through our various seasonal catalogs. So that kind of makes it easy for you to pick out colors if you're like me and you're just a little slightly color insecure and don't want to, you know, pick out something that's going to be, you know, the wrong thing. Now this is, actually I was supposed to put the glue on the opposite side, and so when I'm putting it on the background is the same dark yellow, which of course I'm doing off camera because, boy, that's what I do. Why do I do that? So I just flipped over the background and made the light show through. So our cardstock is two-tone. So the strong color is on the one side, and then the flip side is a slightly lighter color, like a couple of shades lighter, but the same exact color, just a couple of shades lighter. So they perfectly coordinate with each other. And you can just use the light and dark as the contrast, like for these flowers. Now the one flower, the first one I did was peach with the smoothie background. So this is smoothie on top and peach on the bottom. And the light and dark little center of, and that is canary. So we've got canary and smoothie and peach and sage. And the yellow and white just kind of make kind of like a, in my mind, a cute little pretend daisy. So I like this little sprig of leaves, and I put that is the New England ivy, but I think it's the, I want to say avocado background. So it's a little yellowish green, just for a little something different. And then, whoops, got a second one there. And this one I'm doing the way it was meant to be. But, you know, nothing is real. I don't know why I say that. I take that back, because you can do it however you want to do it. So, you know, you can see there's the lighter part of the bluebell. And I love that little center. It kind of looks like the coronavirus. If only the coronavirus was so innocuous as a center of a flower, right? Ay. Okay, so I'm just kind of gingerly putting it around the outside of the petals, and then adding the center. So one is, you know, you could actually, the lighter is showing through, there's little holes in the top part of that cut, if you can believe it, so that the yellow shows, the lighter yellow shows through. So you wouldn't want pink to show through. So Daisy just came to visit me. So here comes another leaf, kind of like looks like an oak leaf to me. That center, the circle, is peach, and I think I'm using the lighter shade of the peach, but we'll see when I get around to putting the glue on that. So these look like little yellow roses to me. So I'm just giving it an extra little squish down. And, you know, I happen to really like a wreath layout. I've been doing wreath layouts for a long time now. Probably the most complicated one I did was, several years ago, and it was all stamping. So there's the center that I took from the blue flower, and I'm using it as a center for the white flower. It's cute, just a little different. Anyway, I did an inking. I mean, it was all stamping. And I mean, I think that it was like a 3-part series of putting that wreath together. But oh my gosh, it just was so lovely. And I did that from one of the many pictures that we have in our catalogs. And when you go through our catalogs, you will find all sorts of great ideas that if you like to follow along, I mean, you know, it doesn't have to be exact. Who's going to know? But if you just kind of, you know, get ideas from our catalog, which frankly we used to call an idea book. That's what its name used to be. And you can get all sorts of wonderful ideas for cards and layouts and home decor, paper home decor, from the catalog. And so, you know, it's really can be inspirational for you. And so you just, you know, can use our stamps and inks and papers and cardstock. This is all close to my heart, cardstock. To make some really beautiful things that you really are proud of. So let me see if do I have all my flowers in place? And so the other thing that the Cricut collection, it also cut these white pieces, which are just kind of photo mats for your picture. And I'm putting it on the center of the circle. Yeah, I'm using the lighter side to show up. I could have used the darker side. It would have been a little bit more contrast. But this way it doesn't detract from the flowers either. It's not in competition with the flowers, I should say. And so I'm just kind of putting it in the center of the page. Trying to see where the center of the page is. So if you kind of count over the little teardrops, it's about right. And see, that will help hold the background in place that was kind of bumping up. And then the other thing I'm going to do is put this background. This blew me away. I have to say, I don't know, maybe I'm simple, but I love this title, and I love how they did the cutout in such thin lettering. I mean, I pretty much get amazed at what the Cricut can do, because it takes us to places that, you know, we just couldn't do with a pair of scissors. At least I could not. So that is just so darn cool. And what a nice title that ends up being. And it really sticks out. And so I'm going to make it stick out even more. I'm going to pop it up. And I'm using, see the heart shape? That is from the cards that I just did on a previous video. It was the, let me think, what's the word? Subscription card making. It's Craft with Heart. We have Craft with Heart subscription scrapbooking and Craft with Heart subscription card making. And so that heart was from the heart-shaped shakers that I did on 3 of the cards. And so the outside edge is, of course, used to pop up the window, but all of the inside doesn't go to waste because they cut it in squares for us, or oddly shaped pieces, because obviously a heart isn't going to be all squares. So you can use it to pop your other stuff up. And it's pretty thick foam, so it has a pretty good rise to it. And it's very strong too. So, you know, when it's down, it's down. So that is going to rise slightly above the whole wreath. And so I'm just going to kind of set the flowers and start setting them in place. And I'll kind of do a flat and then raise the next flower so that it's kind of up and down instead of just see how flat just kind of looks flat, right? And so, you know, to add dimension just is always going to add interest to your work. So, God, these flowers are really pretty, I think. And there's just enough contrast going around. See, my biggest problem is I have a terrible time making decisions of what to put where. So that is my struggle. That is truly my struggle, is figuring out where to put things. So then, you know, you start looking at balance. And yeah, see, it's like I said, this is my struggle, thinking where to put things. And the white flowers just kind of help the other flowers stand out a little bit. Now, I think in retrospect, I probably see that little corona thing. How cute is that? See, I like the way the white just kind of helps the other flowers. It just adds a little bit of contrast to it. So I had that extra, I don't know what that was supposed to go with, the extra yellow piece. So I'm going to cut a yellow center out. This is a little bit too big and is sticking out at the edges. And so I'm just going to trim off a little bit of it and put it on the background. And that would have been fine just like that. So I'm going to start putting one down, and then the leaf. The leaves, of course, you want to put them underneath. And see, they add nice contrast also. So I'm not going to get overly industrious with the foam because it really is pretty strong stuff. So I'm just putting one on there. I mean, you know, a lot of ladies, including, you know, my very good friend in scrapbooking, believes in covering the entire part, but not me so much. I'm just kind of a little bit less obsessive, I guess. So her flowers will be there 50 years from now, and mine will be falling at the bottom of the page probably. So I don't know. You know, it's up to you. You could probably put more than just one piece on there. But by having it in the center, I can tuck other flowers in underneath it more easily. And so that is also the easier thing to do, is to see. I wish I had put that white one over under the yellow one and then put the pink one on top of it. Oh well. You know, I always see these things when I'm overdubbing the video. It's like, gee, I wish I didn't do it that way. Because I always second guess myself, right? I don't know if you do that, but holy moly, it's like perfect is never perfect enough. So if I just didn't continue on and do stuff, I'd probably never get anything done. I used to have that problem of not getting getting things done. Sometimes it's good to just do something instead of doing nothing. And so here we go. Pardon me, we've got mountain cedar in the air in Texas, and I'm sniffly and sneezy and dopey with this whole thing. So pardon if I'm sniffling. I don't even notice it. But it's January in Texas, and it's a thing. Okay, so some more pop-ups. And this page warrants a really pretty picture. Maybe a floral picture. Look at that. Isn't that amazing? I just think it's a Cricut wonder. Okay, so these these look like 3x3 squares to me. And, you know, when I tell you that there's 3 things down, you always want to start with the center one. And that way you can, you know, get equidistant. And I'm going to be a little bit obsessive here. So I have this great centering ruler. And so the 0 is right there in the center, and there's equal distance on both sides. It makes centering things a no-brainer for you. So if you need a ruler, you know, get one that is clear and has a center on it, is a centering ruler, because it just makes this kind of stuff so simple. So then you just, you know, are putting things like about 1/4 of an inch apart or so, maybe a little bit more. But then it comes out just right. And that's because of my centering ruler. Okay, I need to flip that background over. So you see that? This is the detail that the Cricut goes to. So you've got the first piece is the white, and then the bluebell is the same exact shape, except it's got the lace at the bottom, the cutouts, and then the photo mat to go right there for where the picture goes. And I got some more little pieces that they're hanging shads, if anybody remembers Florida from the year 2000. Okay, so this one is the same, it's the same background, just a little bit shorter because of that larger bluebell piece. And right now I will tell you that I wished that I had flipped that bluebell piece at the bottom over so that the lighter part was up, because the dark, I'm going to be showing the dark part of bluebell. So this is going to, but I don't want to, I would have to take all those pieces apart. So I'm just going to flip this over, have the darker bluebell show. Whoops. It's a little floppy, so you just kind of have to be careful when you put it down. And then this one is going to have to, so that lace scallop needs to overlap that bottom piece so you can see the lace. And now that's, you see at the bottom, that's why I wish I had used the lighter side of that lower piece, because there's no contrast at the bottom. So I'm going to, you know, later on cut a strip to make that show up a little bit better, and it'll be closer to looking like the not matching, but coordinating with the piece on the right-hand side, the left-hand page. Still 70 years old and still have trouble with my right and left. Oy, I guess it's never going to happen if it hasn't happened by now. Okay, so I'm putting my 3 pieces together there and got it crooked. Fortunately, if you pick it up pretty quickly, you can replace it without too much harm. Okay, so the cutout is going to head in the downward side. Yeah, no, that's the way it goes, Dorothy. Flip the other one over. There we go. Okay, because there's going to be flowers going along the top, so obviously you wouldn't want to hide that wonderful cutout lace scallop at the bottom. So I'm going to put some more leaves and flowers together, and then we've got this. I want to say the cutting on the Cricut actually took me a few hours. But, you know, I was getting up and down and going and doing other things, so I wasn't just constantly feeding the paper in. And putting together this video is speeded up at about 140%. And so it actually took me about, I think about 45 minutes or so to actually put this all together, just so you have kind of a time frame. But I mean, I have to say, I think the time spent is well worth it. That background, I'm telling you, the background just totally blows me away. Now, what you could actually do, I'm kind of seeing, because it looks like the flower, that smoothie flower up at the top isn't sticking down very well. You could actually curve the upper petals of the flowers and have them stand out from the lower color on these daisy-like flowers, and that would actually add dimension to the flowers. That's actually kind of cool looking, and I didn't even realize until I'm kind of looking at those petals right now sticking up, which I'm thinking they're not supposed to do, but you know what? It's kind of darn cool to have you could just put all of the glue on the center and let the petals kind of stick up from the top petals from the lower petals, if you wanted to. So there's some little cutout pieces that didn't quite pop out. That's what I'm messing with. So really, yeah, that would be kind of a cool thing to do. Okay, one last leaf, and that's the last of the flowers that are going. And I always try to leave the stickum off of the part of the element that is going to be going over the picture. So I'm going to try to put that in place. I should have just ripped off a little piece of scrap to put on the back of the flower, and then I'd have something to glue to. But I'm just going to use the little stamens to glue it down, and then there'll be glue on the back of the whole flower when I put it in place. They're so cute, aren't they? Except for the fact that it looks like a COVID virus. There we go. So, you know, that's the center of some of the flowers. Whether they were actually supposed to be used or not, I have no idea. But you know what? It's scrapbooking, so if it was supposed to be a scrap, I can use it, right? That's my... What am I going to do here? I'm going to put that one in the center. Is that what I'm doing? Once again, trying to figure out placement. Very difficult for me. It's a hard task. Okay, so here we go. Now I'm going to start putting everything in place. And I just want the scallop part to go over the white so you can see it. And then I'll put this one down also, kind of even with, whoops, ran out of glue. Gotta get another. I keep a whole ton of Tombow tape runners, because I go through quite a bit making all of these layouts and cards. Okay, so put that one down, same kind of equidistant over from the side. And then I'm going to tuck my leaves under, tuck that leaf under. And there we go. And just a little commercial here. If you haven't subscribed to my YouTube channel, please subscribe and ring the bell so you know when another video is coming. I'll be doing some more Happiness Lives Here. I've done a lot of Happiness Lives Here. I've done alternate layouts. And then the next one, this is my Happiness Lives Here Cricut layout. The next one I'm going to do is, and I just got it in the mail yesterday, is the Happiness Lives Here workshop, scrapbooking workshop. And that comes with all the die cuts. But if you subscribe to my YouTube channel, you know, you can do the layouts or cards along with me. And, you know, leave me a comment if you think, you know, I need to do something a little bit better. Somebody. So on the Craft with Heart layout, it is a no-cut scrapbooking and card making. And it's no stamping too. So it's no cutting, no stamping, and everything goes together very easily. And so I was putting a title on with the die cut letters that they give you with all of the scrapbook layout subscription kits. And I put an A upside down. And so somebody left me a comment someplace about how, you know, my A was upside down. So you're going to see things that aren't perfect on my videos, and just bear with me because boy am I human. Okay, so here is the layout that is almost finished. It's really beautiful. I think it's really just these Cricut layouts just are amazing to me. So I'm trying to figure out what am I going to do here. And I was thinking, well, you know, I love our shimmer tape. And of course we have Bluebell shimmer tape to go with our color of the year. And we have Bluebell shimmer tape and gems and sequins and all sorts of fun things, inks. And, you know, that just doesn't, as much as I love that blue shimmer tape, it just doesn't really go with that layout. And so I try a couple of things. Then I have some that's like a super pale pink, almost a peach probably, and that just didn't quite go. And then I cut a strip of a 1/2 inch, and I thought, okay, I am going to just cut the 1/2 inch and then slide it under there, and you will see me struggle to the point I say, enough. I'm trying to get it on there, and I've already put the glue there, so it's impossible. You know, I have to tell you, don't ever worry that you think you can't do something, because if you watch me struggle, you know, you can, I struggle with things too. It's nothing that all of us don't do. And if you think that some people make things perfectly all the time, it's because they've made them off camera a number of times to make sure it's just exactly what they want to show. So don't even worry about it. This isn't about perfection. This is about your pictures, and that's all that it's about. And so I've just had it right here. It's like, okay, enough is enough. I give. I tried what I could. I give up. So this is what I should have done to begin with, is to just cut a 1/4 inch strip. Excuse me. And by the way, that bottom Bluebell piece, not the background, the full 12 by 12 sheet, but the piece with the scallop edge, it's 11 and a half. And so I cut my strip 11 and a half by 1/4 of an inch, and it went right down. And there we go. So that's enough contrast to make the blue edge show up, and I'm good with that. I'm good with that. And so there we go. That's my 100% Cricut layout, and I love it. I love it. I love all the flowers. I love the colors. I love all the cutouts. I love it. Subscribe to me. Thanks for watching. Bye.